Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma
Vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So yesterday our discussion was about how it is this ahankar, it is this limited manifestation, this jiva, in this infinite ocean of consciousness, one limited, specific manifestation, unique manifestation, that is called as jiva. Every unique, limited manifestation is called jiva. And therefore, at a particular level, we are also a jiva. A man of knowledge is also a unique manifestation. Even when God takes up avatara, he is also a unique manifestation. Any unique, limited manifestation is called jiva. And this unique, small manifestation is arising from an ocean of infinite life. It is existing in life and it goes back into the life. So this is the example, which we need to keep in our minds and appreciate the correlation between both these things. A limited manifestation by itself is not an issue. It's not a problem. In fact, every unique, limited manifestation is one of the potential beauty and also lila of that infinite ocean. So many people sit down on the side of an ocean and keep on watching waves, endlessly. Every wave is so beautiful. People from Bombay, they are certainly lucky over here. They can go and sit down on a beach and keep on watching the infinite ocean, the endless ocean. Endless water body manifesting as so many different waves. It's also beautiful, there's no problem as such. The problem is that, we take ourselves to be this limited manifestation alone. Not knowing what is the story behind this manifestation, this jiva. What was this jiva beforehand? And even when the manifestation has occurred, it has happened. Even at that time, what is it which is sustaining this jiva? And unto what this jiva will go back? We do not know that. It is the ignorance of this fact because of which I have got confined into this small limitation, this manifestation, and this is what is basically making us uncomfortable. In case if your feet are of, let us say, 7 numbers and you wear shoes which is, let us say, 6 numbers, you're not comfortable, you cannot walk around. And here you are the infinite one and you have fitted yourself only in the small manifestation. How are you going to be comfortable in this? Even if everything is fine as per the dreams and whims and fancies of this jiva, still deep down there is a discomfort. The discomfort is basically an aspiration to wake up to our real nature. Behind every desire, every dream is just the desire and aspiration to be your own true self. Be yourself. And not only be yourself, but you need to know who is that being. Even a jiva can just be oneself and sit on for some time. But yet in that being also, I know that I am a small fellow. As long as I continue to be a small petty fellow, limited, insecure, fearful, wanting, being yourself is just an escape. I am escaping from the reality that I am a limited person. How long I can just be myself? I have to take care of my next meals. I've got to take care of my, maybe my sick relative, maybe my sick body, maybe my financial status, maybe my environment, maybe my society. How long can I just be myself? I've got no other option except to, take care, compelled to take care of everything else. So it is not about just being yourself, but being infinite and then being yourself. Being complete and then being yourself. So that is what is important. So what is required is to go deep into this limited manifestation and discover the infinite ocean behind this small wave. The wave-like manifestation which is me and you. Can we go deep into this and discover the truth as one non-dual, infinite ocean of bliss, of life, of Satchidananda? That is where the moksha lies, freedom lies. And thereafter you embrace everything. Everything is in you and there is no problem. So thus, it is this self-discovery, it is this waking up to the truth of oneself which is more important rather than just some temporary experiences of quietude, of peace, or maybe of just being yourself. So thus yesterday we saw that our entire existence is divided into 3 states. And this cyclic rotation of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Avastha, they are being brought about because of the different stages of Ahankar. This manifestation, in case if the manifestation is full, then it's stage number 1. State number 1. In case if the manifestation is partial, then it's state number 2. In case this fellow is in the unmanifest state, it's very much there, but it's in unmanifest state, then it is state number 3. All the 3 states are happening only because of this Ahankar. And the Antahkaran also, contributes in these 3 experiences. In one state it is projecting as per my vasanas, and in the second state it is also building up the body and sense organs and seeing the world outside and also doing, executing. All these things are possible. So these 3 states are happening because of this Ahankar and Antahkaran alone. And it is this Ahankar, this Antahkaran, which are components of our buddhi, of our minds. The whole game is happening in my mind alone, which is also called as the Linga Sharira or the Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Sharira is very important. Sukshma Sharira is today the real me and you. Any person, you cannot know the person just by his body, colors, features. It is the mind that matters. If the mind is beautiful, the person is beautiful. Mind is intelligent, the person is intelligent. Mind is sensitive, the person is sensitive. Mind is caring, the person is caring. Mind is selfless, the person is selfless. So it is the mind which really matters. It is the coming and going of this Sukshma Sharira which is the reason for birth and death. It is this fellow alone which is responsible for the three states. You know what in effect is being said over here? Today we are experiencing the three states. I am going in waking, I am going in dream, I am going in deep sleep. The very usage of this word is only from the point of view with reference to this doer. Not the life, not the consciousness. Consciousness does not have different states. Consciousness blesses all the three states equally. It's not changing in any state. It is the mind which is changing. It is the kind of manifestation which is changing. Full manifestation, partial manifestation, no manifestation. All these words are with reference to this fellow called ego. The individual, the doer, the jiva. So jiva has three states, consciousness does not have three states. Jiva has birth and death, consciousness does not have any birth and death. Just imagine. In case if I can work to bring about this paradigm shift from the jiva to the consciousness, what a revolutionary change it shall be. Mere shift from my limited identity to pure consciousness makes us free from this eternal change. The desire of change, the desire of experiences, the birth and death, you shall have no death. There is no death from consciousness point of view. There is no coming and going from consciousness point of view. There is no growth and decay from consciousness point of view. So we need to diagnose the problem of life and connect them with our limited manifestation. Once you see that every problem is ultimately connected to the limited me, thereafter, transcending this limited me makes sort of sense. It's going to be the real revolution in my life. So having said this, we had raised another question that okay, fine, this consciousness is being reflected in this buddhi, in this mind, and thereafter the mind gets activated. And once the mind is activated, this doership, it rises in the mind. Not knowing the truth, I identify with this doer. And this limited manifestation becomes the real me. And that's the beginning of a new chapter in my life. Why is this happening? Why this is happening? Because you have this mind and you have this reflecting surface. From where has this reflecting surface come about? From where has this body, mind, come about? Oh God, why have you created all these things? This is what is the story of this mind intellect. This domain of anatma, the domain of anitya padartha, inert things. These Panchamahabhutas, they have manifested, and their permutation, combination brings about the physical body, the subtle body, and all these things, and also the objects around. How come these five elements and all the various permutation, combination, the various objects of the world, from where did these things come about? Are they permanently there? In case if these things, they are permanently there, then we have two realities. Reality number one is consciousness, infinite life. Reality number two, this domain of inert objects, which because of the blessing of consciousness and whatever it is, there are a lot of changes and permutations, combination, and we have this multifarious world. Some of the things, they have, beautiful reflective power, and they reflect the consciousness, and the moment it is reflected, certain objects, they are activated, enlivened, and the whole story starts. So he says, now let us go into this. It's a very important, very interesting question. And by the way, one should also appreciate that as long as duality is there, drishta and drishya, as long as both of these things are there, as long as the changeless and the changing both are there, as long as the conscious and inert both are there, we just have to organize, we cannot be free. The very existence of the other, it creates responsibility. You are all alone. Let us say before marriage you were all alone, and thereafter you got married. Responsibility starts, Even if you know that you don't want anything, but you'll have to take care of the other. You'll have to manage the other. And it's not always that, there are no problems. Life is full of challenges and problems. Knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously, it's full of problems. The existence of the second, brings the whole lot of problems, challenges, responsibilities. And the only thing which one can dream of is that, let me manage things properly. Do I have to eternally manage my mind also? Do I have to eternally manage the reflection also, the limited manifestation also? Is the other thing a reality? Does it come under the domain of reality, the definition of reality? Well, it is there for me. For all practical purposes, it's there. When it comes to appeasing my hunger, consciousness doesn't help. It's got to, be the world outside, which is going to take care of my hunger, which are diseases, my thirst, my requirement, my security, everything, I've got to take care of all these things in my life. So, very important question. Are these two things having equal degree of reality? Are these, objects of the world and the inert things and the mind and the body? Today I've got to take care of the body. God forbid you have a terrible disease. How can you ignore that? You have to take care of the body. So has this to continue forever? Can I be really reveling in pure consciousness? So I am meditating very nicely with all my head and heart fully devoted to this. And then suddenly my body starts having problems. I get dysentery. How long can I sit down in meditation thereafter? I get cough and cold, sneezing and coughing. How long can I sit down? And there is this heart attacks and problems. Can I continue to sit down in meditation? So these things, as long as these things are existing, they are real, they'll have to be taken care of. So now, why I'm giving these details so that we can appreciate the question properly. I understand that there is an infinite life. I also understand that this manifestation which is limited because it is in a limited mind, and whatever the mind and the manifestation will be appropriate according to that. But the fact these upadhis are there, the manifestations are there, is going to continue forever. Going into consciousness is like, escaping from reality. I go into meditation, again I'll have to come and face the same music. So the question is this domain of inert objects, the object of Drishyam, is it real? Does it have an independent reality? This question is answered in the next section. So let us chant from shloka number 13 onwards. Shakti Dvayam Himayaya.
Shakti Dvayam Himayaya.
Vikshepa Vrittirupakam.
Vikshepa Vrittirupakam.
Vikshepa Shaktirlingadi.
Vikshepa Shaktirlingadi.
Brahmandantam Jagat Srijet.
Brahmandantam Jagat Srijet.
Srishtir Nama Brahma Rupe.
Srishtir Nama Brahma Rupe.
Satchidananda Vastuni.
Satchidananda Vastuni.
Abdhau Fenadivat Sarva.
Abdhau Fenadivat Sarva.
Nama Rupa Prasarana.
Nama Rupa Prasarana.
So he says, yes, it's very important that you appreciate the reality of both Drig and Drishya. What is the reality of this consciousness? What is the reality of these objects of knowledge? When is something a problem? Only when we take it to be real. That which is not very real for me, I can learn to ignore that. It doesn't affect us. There are so many problems happening in the world. But when it happens in my family, to me, then it bothers me. It is not that, just because somebody is dying, I am having bad nights, I cannot sleep. Maybe one day I am disturbed by that. But then, the life has to carry on. But when that thing has happened to me, that thing which is very important to me, which is real to me, which matters a lot to me, then we are disturbed. That's a very important lesson hidden over here. We see the newspaper every day, yes, few days back a train accident happened, oh, so bad. So many people unfortunately died. But then after fine, what's happening in the world all over. We have to take that in stride and go ahead. But in case you discovered that, my aunt was there in that, my dear friend was there in that train, then it's a different thing altogether. Something happening in the other part of the world, is alright, it happens. For Swamis, it's very easy, to go around and everybody says, Swamiji, this is the world, this is Maya, it happens in the samsara. It's so easy to tell. But when it happens to you, at that time you realize it's so easy to give upadesh to somebody else. What does it imply that something happens to me? Then it matters. It is real for me. There are certain things which are so important to me. In case if there is something which is real for me, important to me, then alone it disturbs us. Not otherwise. So he says, let us investigate that whether it is my life, whether it is all social life, the whole world and the whole cosmos, anything, let us go into the reality of everything which is in the domain of drishya, seen, objectifiable. He says, the truth of this is completely different as we are imagining it to be. Real knowledge implies that not only you see the consciousness to be real, but that which is apart from this consciousness, the domain of different names and forms, the different manifestation. You need to have a very, very clear understanding that this is not real. It's not there. When we are in the dream, it's so important. The dream tiger running after me, I'll have a terrible time. I cannot, just sit down there and say it's a dream tiger. I'll have to take care of myself. Because it's a dream body. And the dream body is me. Because these things, they are real, but when we wake up, just see the shift in our understanding. Oh, it was a dream. I can smile it off after some time. For a few moments, it lingers on, the fear continues, but thereafter you can learn to ignore that. What happens when we wake up? We realize that it is not real. I was seeing a movie in which, one of the actors, he got hurt and the fellow was standing in front of the mirror and telling the other guy inside, don't worry, it is just a hurt, I'll put medicine, I'll take care of it, I'll put, a band-aid and don't worry. Just have some patience, I'm going to put iodine there, it's going to burn slightly. The fellow is talking to the other guy. Just relax. Is real. But when, the intoxication goes away, then whatever was taken as real is now unreal. He'll also laugh, oh God, was I taking care of my reflected entity? I was doing bandaging of that reflected fellow inside. You see the point. At one stage, something is so real. At another stage, it is unreal. Till the time something is real, then only it is important. And when we discover that this is not real, it doesn't matter. You know the truth of this manifestation. Then you are free from that. True wisdom is not merely knowing yourself to be one infinite consciousness. Wisdom implies also seeing the entire domain of Drishya as mithya, unreal. What is mithya? Mithya is something which is seen, but it doesn't have an independent reality. Like you see a reflection in the mirror. It is definitely seen. We take care of our reflections. We take help from our reflections. But never ever we are having this misunderstanding that the reflected entity has a separate existence. What is my relationship with my reflection? Even when I am seeing the duality, the other fellow inside, the other Swamiji inside the mirror, I never have this delusion that there are two Swamis. And there are people who have, mirror room. So many old palaces, they have Sheesh Mahal. There's a lovely Sheesh Mahal in Indore also. It's a Jaini temple. And it's full of people come, from far lands to come and just see that Sheesh Mahal. It's one of the attractions of the city. And everywhere, the artist has made that thing very lovingly. Left, right, up and down, everywhere, it's your reflection. And inside the reflection is the reflection of the other mirror also. You have infinite manifestation, infinite reflection. Yet, we are never disturbed there. Because I know these are all my reflections, my manifestations, and none of these things are having any independent reality. I am the real one. So the second component of wisdom is to appreciate very thoroughly that this perceptible world, it is definitely there, it is beautiful, it's useful, everything is fine. But go into the reality of this. In case if this continues to be so important for you, it has as the independent capacity to help you out, to bless you. Then you've had it. It is this Dvaita Buddhi which is the cause of bondage. It is not the mere quietude of mind which is prescription for freedom and joy. Even though a quiet mind is very important. But everybody knows, just having a quiet mind in the morning, it may make your day a very good one. Make you a thoughtful and sensitive person, an efficient person. But that is not freedom. That is not, moksha. Moksha is to go into the truth of both these padartha, the drishta and drishya, the Drg and Drishya, and finally appreciate that this drishta is pure infinite consciousness, and that which is in the domain of drishya doesn't have an independent reality. Anything which doesn't have an independent reality is technically termed in this philosophical literature as Mithya. Rainbow is a Mithya. Rainbow is having a relative existence. It doesn't have an absolute existence. Only when there is sun and water droplets in the atmosphere, the sunlight gets refracted and there you have this 7-colored Vikshepa Indra Devata ka Dhanush. It doesn't have an absolute existence. Sunlight goes away, where does my rainbow go? When there are no droplets, where does my rainbow go? It is because of the interaction between two things that this perception is brought about. Mirage, it's a Mithya entity. You go to a desert, you find, glimmering water on the other side, other end. The perception is there. The reflection is also there. In that glassy surface, so many things get reflected also. But it's not there. It doesn't have an independent existence. Suppose you are seeing, you're very thirsty and you are seeing water on the other side of the desert. Will any intelligent man, go in that direction? In case if they are sure that it is just mirage, they'll not run into that direction. केवल देखने की चीज है ये. It doesn't have any existence. The entire movie on the screen, for me, it's mithya. It is seen where it doesn't have any substantial existence. The dream, it is seen where it doesn't have any substantial existence. The reflection, it is seen where it doesn't have any substantial existence. My shadow, it is seen where it is taken so lightly. It doesn't have an independent existence. So this is a very important thing to realize, that anything, if it is not having an independent existence of its own, how easily we ignore them. Something good or bad in that, it really doesn't affect us. So he says, really speaking, this entire world of Drishya doesn't have any independent reality of its own. Because of certain factors and reasons it has presented itself. There are certain reasons for this creation to happen. This creation is never going to be always there. Even our Puranas, they tell us that no, there was a time when God started creating and the world is right now. Brahmaji created, Bhagavan Vishnu is sustaining, and after some time, there will be pralaya. It's going to go back. It won't be there. It's there because of some factors. And those factors, the moment they are there, this show is presented in front of us. And as we were seeing the other day, one of the Upanishads is saying that it's just like a dream world. My dream is a dream, all right. This is also like a dream. So the truth of this drishya is the subject matter of discussion in the subsequent shlokas. He says, and I'll tell you one thing. This consciousness, the infinite consciousness, has got a very amazing, inexplicable, divine, creative power. He has a Shakti, which is called as Maya. Maya is the Shakti of this conscious entity. This consciousness, the infinite consciousness, is indicated by the word Brahma. So this is Brahma, not Brahma. Brahma word is another thing, Brahma word is another thing. Brahma means the creator, Brahmaji. And Brahma is pure infinite consciousness. So this pure infinite consciousness, indicated by the word Brahma, has got a very amazing creative power. That is how you should appreciate that. And it is because of this power, this magical power. Even magicians, they put up such a show that you are foxed. There was a magician here in Indore, They also call themselves as Mayavi magicians. So somebody told us, a very nice magician has come. Come on, let us also go. And we are students of studying Maya and Brahma and all that. So I'm not going to be deceived by that because I am a student of Vedanta. I've been trying to go into Vedanta and Maya. I know the Shakti, at least that's what I thought. So there we got luckily seats, in the front row. And while sitting there, that fellow requested some volunteer from the crowd. Is there anybody who can volunteer? I can assure you nothing is going to happen to you. Otherwise, I won't be here. If anything happens to you, I'll be responsible. I'll be behind the bars also, if you're hurt also. So don't worry. You're there in the front of this entire audience, house full audience. He says, no problem, I'll come. So the fellow went there and he hypnotized the fellow. He went to sleep. He dozed off. He bought a big, saw. As I'm going to, check out the heart of this fellow. And the fellow was cut into 2 pieces. And he put his hand inside and then he took out the heart. She said, look at such a black heart this fellow has. Kala dil wala hai. Doesn't matter, I'll clean the heart. He asked his assistant, Jamure, एक बाल्टी में सर्फ का पानी लो. And we were all sitting wide-eyed. Heart, he has cut. He has taken out the heart. And the heart is black. And for the first time, I come to discover that cleaning one's heart can also be done by surf. And that Jamura puts the heart inside, we are washing our clothes and the foam is coming from there. The fellow takes out, there's a pink heart, cleaned. So, wow, so beautiful. And he takes his, napkin and he cleans that dirty napkin with which he was, even wiping his nose. He cleans that heart. And then after both of them, they are so happy, the mission fulfilled, and he puts the heart back. And then he joins the 2 part of the body. The fellow wakes up. And amazingly, with a better smile now, with a cleaner heart, they're all, so surprised. How it's happening. I'm going to catch that fellow. I'll not be deceived by this magic. But what an amazing magic. Thereafter he says, well, there is certain power called, hypnotism, mesmerism, and certain things which are haath ki safai and all that, Otherwise, really speaking, nothing has happened to this fellow. But you are seeing it has happened. It's all Maya. In case if our local magicians can do all these things, what about the magician of God himself, this whole beautiful world? He says this has been presented by the divine magician called God. It is certainly there. The perception is there. But this perception, this world is just like, that magic which was presented by that magician is there just for the show. It doesn't have any independent reality. Suppose we discover that, this thing is all Maya. Are we going to take care of all these things? Will we be bothered about these things? Even if we are taking care, it will be a game, a leela. Not be bothered too much. You can take these things in a different spirit altogether. You will not be deterred and disturbed by these things. So the reality of Drishya has to be inquired into very deeply, as important as the reality of the Drishta, the seer. The reality of seer is pure infinite consciousness, and the reality of Drishya is a presentation, production of Maya. So Maya production, 3D movie going on. I'm sure you fellows must have seen 3D movies sometime. How real they look. I saw one 3D movie in Ahmedabad. So there was a fellow who was mining. And the moment he hit a stone, the stone came right out of me. I had to duck, I saved myself. Otherwise it was so real. It came directly to our chairs. It almost hit me. It is so real. So also this world is a 3D movie going on because of the presentation of God. But not knowing this thing, even the first 2D movie when it was presented in Paris, the first movie was presented in France. And there was a train which was coming right from the front and people ran from there. And later on we have become, men of knowledge, sthita pragya, and nothing happens to us. We keep on enjoying our popcorns and keep on seeing the movie. But when we think that this is all real, then our life is different, our world is different. So really speaking, this entire world of the drishya, whether at the micro level or the macro level, the samashti level or the veshti level, it is basically Maya production. And he says not only that, but if you want to go slightly more deeper into this, then Maya also has two intrinsic Shakti in herself. There are two sub-powers as though of Maya. So he says, Shakti Dvayam hi Mayayaha. There are two intrinsic special characteristics of this Maya Shakti, and they are called as Vikshepa and Avritti. Vikshep and Avritti or Avarana. So one is called Vikshep Shakti, another is called Avarana Shakti. These are the two components with which Maya Shakti, it plays its game and keeps on presenting different things in the world. What does this Vikshep Shakti do? Vikshepa Shakti Lingadi Brahmandantam Jagat Srajit. The work of the Vikshep Shakti is that of projection, presentation, creation. Whatever you see in the world is projected, is presented, is created by this component of Vikshep Shakti. So just look at, the word. Brahmandantam Lingadi Brahmandantam. Ling Adi. Adi means starting from your subtle body, your buddhi, in which the consciousness was reflecting and the ahankar and antahkarana vritti got manifested. This Lingeshwari. Starting from this Linga Sharir Brahmandantam, this entire cosmos, this entire thing has been created by the Vikshep Shakti. And you should salute this Vikshep Shakti. The greatest of all artists is this Vikshep Shakti component of Maya. Every other artist, he is just, a bad copier. That is all. We copy the sunset, we copy the sunrise, we copy the flowers, we copy the face, we copy the child, we copy the smile, we will copy, the different emotions. But who made the original? And can anybody catch the original? Every statue is just the freezing of a particular moment. And it's a dead moment. Even though that particular moment may be unique, it may instigate so many memories which I had earlier of our near and dear ones. Whether it's a statue, whether it's a photograph, whether it is any memorabilia, anything, it just helps us to transport in some another world, the presence, the warmth and the love of somebody. All these things, they are cheap copies of the original. Just imagine the original. Who has made the original? Who has made this beautiful world? Hari Bari Vasundhara. So Vikshepa Shakti is just amazing. So this first part of the Shakti of Maya, which is called as Vikshepa Shakti, it creates all the names and forms. And what does this other Shakti do? He says that I'll tell you, but let us, the next shloka, a very famous shloka, which is elaborating the Vikshepa Shakti, the creation, the creativity of this Vikshepa Shakti. He says, entire creation. And here, we also get the definition of what is creation. He says, creation is Srishtir Nama. Srishti, the creation. What is creation? Srishtir Nama Brahma Rupe Satchidananda Vastuni Abdau Fenadivat Sarva Nama Rupa Prasarana. There is an ocean of water. And in that ocean, what this Vikshepa Shakti does, it somehow starts bringing about the different forms. One substantial material is there. And the only role of this Vikshepa Shakti is to present one fundamental component in infinite ways. It just gives form to this fundamental object and presents various objects in front of us. It is the form giver. Vikshepa Shakti doesn't really create anything separate. That which is existing is presented in different forms. What does a goldsmith do? He takes the gold and presents the gold in different forms. Presenting in different forms is called creation. You take, atta and present in different form, roti, puri, bati and whatnot. Is presenting one object in different forms. You take a kumar, he takes mud and presents in different forms, the pot, the surahi, the, various, we have thalis and katoris and kullad and whatnot of this mud. Presenting one object in different forms, that is the creation. That is the essence of creation. Whenever any creative fellow goes around to create anything, the fellow gets some material. And thereafter that material is presented to us in a beautiful form. So, very nicely, he says what this Vikshepa Shakti of Maya does is that Satchidananda Brahma is there. There is this infinite life, which is of the nature of Sat Chit and Ananda. The fundamental component is Satchidananda. Why Satchidananda? Because Sat means it is existing. Chit means it is of the nature of life, consciousness. Ananda means it is extremely blissful. This alone is the real source of Ananda. That is the basic component of life. You and me and everyone for that matter. And thereafter, This Vikshepa Shakti has presented this Satchidananda as you and me. All of us are creations of this Vikshepa Shakti. And what an amazing creativity. All of us are so unique, so different. So this is the nature of creation. Abdau Fenadivat, just as Abdi means the ocean. Fen, etc., like ripples, the bubbles and the waves. Just as one water body is presented in the form of different forms, so also one pure consciousness, pure existence is presented in infinite ways by this Vikshepa Shakti. So this is what, this aspect does. And now, what does the second Shakti do? Second Shakti is Avarana Shakti. Avarana word means veiling power. It conceals certain things. So the second power, what it does, it just conceals the reality from your perception. That is all. It doesn't do anything else except it blindfolds you. First fellow comes, not fellow, lady. The first lady comes and presents a different lovely presentation all over, and the second one comes and blindfolds you. Now enough. You've had it now. You don't know the truth, and this alone, presentation is alone seen, the reality is not seen. That's the nature of blindfolding. You do not know the truth. You only see these presentations. And this is the amazing nature of Maya. So what does he say? Drg-Dryshya Viveka
Drg-Dryshya Viveka
Bahishcha Brahma Sargayoho
Bahishcha Brahma Sargayoho
Avranotya Parashakti
Avranotya Parashakti
Sa Samsarasya Karanam
Sa Samsarasya Karanam
Sakshina Purato Bhati
Sakshina Purato Bhati
Lingam Dehena Sanyutam
Lingam Dehena Sanyutam
Chitichaya Samaveshat
Chichaya Samaveshat
Jivasyad Vyavaharikah
Jivasyad Vyavaharikah
Asya Jivattvamarupat
Asya Jivattvamarupat
Sakshinyapyavabhasate
Sakshinyapyavabhasate
Avrittau tu vinashtayam
Avrittau tu vinashtayam
Bhede bhate payati tat
Bhede bhate payati tat
Tadha sarga brahmanoscha
Tadha sarva brahmanoscha
Bhedamavritya tishtati
Vedamavritya tishtati
Ya shakti stattvashat brahma
Ya shakti sadvayat brahma
Vikritatvena bhasate
Vikrityadvarina bhasate
Atrapya vrittinashena
Atrapya vrittinashena
Vibhati brahma sargayoho
Vibhati brahma sargayoho
Bhedastayor vikarasyat
Vedastayor निर्विकारस्य
सर्गेण ब्रह्मणि क्वचित्
सर्गेण ब्रह्मणि क्वचित्.
So these 5 shlokas, they reveal the work, the leela of this second component of Maya Shakti, the Avarana Shakti. Avarana word itself means the veil, the one which hides, just as a curtain is an Avarana. Avarana, it veils that which is on the other side of the window or the door. And so also here, this is the role of Avarana Shakti. It conceals certain thing. What does it do? Antar Drg-Dryshya Viveka Bahishcha Brahma Sargayo Avaranoti Apara Shakti. This second Shakti. Apara Shakti means the other Shakti. This other Shakti, what it does, it just veils, it just hides 2 things. One thing inside you and one thing outside you. Inside you, it hides the truth of Drg and Drishya. Antar Drg-Dryshya Viveka Avaranoti. Today, we have been revealed the truth of Drg and Drishya. Once you go into that, you're amazed. Oh wow, it was so clear, I never thought about it. This is the seer and this is the domain of seeing. I should have known this thing right in the beginning. It was so obvious. But it's not your problem. It's really speaking, the real culprit is this Maya Shakti. The Avarana Shakti component of Maya. And it really specializes in its job. It's an expert. It assures that, we are confused about the Drg and Drishya. The truth of Drg and the truth of Drishya, that is hidden from our understanding. That which it veils is our understanding. Our understanding is affected by the Avarana Shakti. And that which is very logical, that which is very obvious, somehow it did not occur to me. And the one who is smiling the most is this Avarana Shakti. Yeah, I did it. I managed it even though you are such an intelligent person, such a smart person, doing such good things in your life. But I am having a gay time. I just put you on a trip. And you didn't know that who is the real seer and who is the real seen. You're different from all these things. I assure that. So inside you, the thoughts and the thinker, the seer and the seen. We should have gone into that. It is so obvious, so logical. But the role of Avarana Shakti is Anta, inside us, Drg-Dryshya Viveka Avaranoti. The difference of Drg and Drishya, we are confused about that. In fact, we are not even aware of that. So this is the role of Avarana Shakti. And not only inside, outside also it plays its game. Bahihi chas, she does something outside also. Very, very powerful Shakti. Very terrible Shakti. The other one was very artistic, very creative. It just presented beautiful world. And the real villain is this one, She just comes and confuses us. She assures that we are not aware of the truth. How she does it, we will have to work it out, and we will see what the subsequent shlokas this tell us. But that exactly is what is happening. So she does something outside also. She's confusing us regarding certain tenets outside also. What does she do outside? Bahihi Brahma Sargayoho Vedam Avrunoti. When you look at the world outside, when you are sitting on the side of an ocean, what should have been the right perception and knowledge? Water alone is the reality. The waves are coming and going. Forms, they do not have any substantial existence of their own. They come and go. You can take up any form. You have a golden ornament. You need money. You go to the goldsmith. The fellow takes that. He melts that and presents in another form. He says, I want a murti of Lord Krishna now. It's all right, no problem. Come after a week, I'll give you, Lord Krishna. Forms are so easy to change. After some time, you say, no, I've taken up Lord Shiva. You please change this Krishna to Lord Shiva. I said, no problem. You'll just have to dole out some money, rest I'll handle. Same gold. I assure you that, I am not going to take any gold illegally. I just give my bill to you for that creative work. The same gold is presented as Lord Shiva. The substance, the substantial entity, the upadan, the material cause, it doesn't change at all. It is presented in different forms. So what should have been the nature of wisdom when you are sitting on the side of an ocean? Water alone is the reality. Waves are coming and going. Waves, they are a creative presentation of this creative power of God. Any form doesn't have independent existence. You can't take, a chain and, I say, okay, I'll take the gold, you take the chain. I don't get anything. In case somebody else has taken the gold away from the chain, then what is left of the chain? This form has no substantial existence apart from that basic raw material. So Vikshepa Shakti is just presenting different forms. I should have been able to see through this game of the play of different forms and also the existence of the untainted material which is sustaining all the waves. All the waves are coming from water, they are being sustained by water, they go back into water. And when the waves are born, the water is not born. When the waves are growing, the water is not growing. Same H2O now also. When the wave is decaying, the chemistry of water is not decaying. And when the wave has gone, the water is not gone. Water is in a different world altogether. It's not coming and going, it's not changing. But the play of form is there. I should have looked at this ocean in an enlightened way. That water is as it is. It transcends all the changes of the waves. It is untouched by the changes of the waves. Yet all the waves are produced by water, all the waves are sustained by the water, and all the waves go back into water. And inside water there are no waves. Yet waves can be presented, waves can play, waves can grow, waves can decay, waves can end. And water is asangoham, untouched. We should have looked at the ocean in this way, but somehow we got confused. And where is the culprit? Huh? Who made us deluded that I couldn't see this obvious fact? And she's smiling, standing, on the side. I did it. It was my play, only for her entertainment. Huh? I confused you. I veiled the truth of Brahma and Sarga. Just as inside, there is a confusion of Drg and Drishya. Outside there is a confusion of Brahma and Sarga. What is Sarga? Creation. What is creation? Refer to the shlok number 14. Creation is just when one reality is presented in different forms. That is creation. So let there be infinite forms. Let there be, so many different manifestations. Every manifestation is basically the same fundamental Atma. Same material, same Sat Chit Ananda. And it is presenting itself in different forms. So one is the form component, another is the material component. The material and the form, they are two different, extremely different, they're world apart. One is in the realm of time and space, limited by time, limited by space. Another transcends time and space. There is no limitation of time or space in the component part. They're so different. Yet, hats off to this Avarana Shakti. It never occurred to us. And we are just seeing the waves. So also we are seeing the people around, we are seeing the objects around. This world is consisting of different objects and people. The forms, they are coming and going. You'll be taking the forms as the reality. And you know who's smiling? Avarana Shakti. And on top of it, she says that it's only for entertainment. I did it just to check out your wisdom also. Well, at the end of the day, you don't know, it's your mind. What can I do about it? You should have known. I can't help it if you are not using your brains properly. But yes, I veiled your Viveka, your discriminative power, your capacity of subtle appreciation. I confused you. And the Brahma Sargayo Vedam Avaranoti. Wisdom is to see the Drg and Drishya as different, Brahma and Sarga as different. They are two different things altogether. Avaranoti Apara Shakti. This is the second power of Maya. And he also writes in the shloka, Sa samsarasya karanam. It is this Shakti which is responsible for all my endless seeking and subsequent suffering. And now she has put her head down. Earlier she was smiling, and now she realizes that I have been nailed as the culprit. She is responsible for all the eternal confusion, seeking, problems, grief. Because we take their manifestations as real. In case if this wisdom was there in us, And while seeing, the golden ornament, we could have remembered that the real material, that which really matters, doesn't come and go, it's always there. The importance of an object is immediately diluted in case if you appreciate the component. Just imagine, in case if you know the truth, the birth and death is no more. Oh, my mother, she has gone. Well, the shloka tells you she is right here. The form comes and goes, not the component. The component, the real material of that form is the component of this form also. All our near and dear ones, our ancestors, right? They are there in our hearts as our very self. The truth of one wave is the truth of another wave. The Atma of one manifestation is the Atma of the other manifestation. The truth of all the manifestations is same as you are. You are not really different from others. And the manifestation of others, it's a game of Maya, that's all. It's a presentation of this amazing creative power called Maya. So Maya presents the world, presents the name and form. Avarana Shakti, it comes and veils the truth of this reality, and we land up taking the different manifestation as independent reality. I am different and you are different, one wave is different, another wave is different. All our life is based on this premise that every manifestation has an independent reality. So this is what is being revealed here, it is not so. He says, now come to think of it, Sakshinaha Puruto Bhati Lingam Dehena Sanyutam. It is because of this Avarana Shakti that we take ourselves to be this Jiva. Remember what is Jiva? Jiva here he defines that Sakshinaha Puruto Bhati, that which is present in front of the Sakshi as a manifestation in the mind, as a doer, ahankar. I am the doer, this thought in your mind. It's a scene in front of the Sakshi. Sakshi is observing, Sakshi is blessing, the mind. And inside the mind, this ahankar vritti comes. And this ahankar vritti, it subsequently identifies with different things. 3 identifications. Sahaja tadatmya, karmajam tadatmya, and rantijam tadatmya. And these 3 kind of identifications, when you are identified with the body, you are identified with the chichaya, and also taking yourself to be the Sakshi, the ultimate reality. This manifestation alone is me. This is called as Jiva. Sakshinaha Puruto Bhati Lingam Dehena Sanyutam. One is, which is product of the Linga Sharir, and rather it takes the subtle body as its own self, the mind, the intellect, and everything associated with it, that is myself. Chitichaya Samaveshat, which is endowed with the reflection of consciousness. It's a living being today. Jivasyat Vyavaharikaha. This is the transactional me going around in this world as I am this, I am this. He says this is a jiva. Now what does this Avarana Shakti does? Asya jivatvam aropa sakshini api avabhasate. Because of this Avarana Shakti, I who was the witness of the mind, I start taking myself as this pretty fellow. I am this. Now this is what the work of Avarana Shakti is. It veils the truth of myself. And I start taking myself as this small fellow. And this is what happens in our dream every night. I may be a Swamiji right here. In the dream I was a bird, flying in the sky. And in case if somebody came there, oh bird, you are really speaking as Swami. I said, what nonsense, you are lost. Let me enjoy my flight. And I'm also seeing a rat down below. And I'm aiming for that, my shikar. And you are saying, I'm a Swami? For all practical purpose, my truth has been veiled there. And I keep on taking myself as that small manifestation. Here also, who is responsible for us, to forget that I am that Sakshi and start taking ourselves as just this limited manifestation. This is the work of Avarana Shakti. Avrattau tu vinashtayam bhede bhate apayati tat. He says now the real thing. This is only deception. The reality cannot be hidden for long. The moment you start doing Viveka of Drg-Dryshya, this Avarana Shakti is afraid only of Vivek, nothing else. It assures that, you don't get Viveka. Otherwise, the gay time she's having, enjoying the show all the time, making us confused and deluded and eternal seekers. This thing will end in case if you become a Viveki person, an enlightened person. Know that I am the witness, know that I am the seeker, the pure consciousness, which is the truth, which is the fact. So, the moment you start doing Viveka, Avrattau tu vinashtayam bhede bhate apayati tat. The moment this difference is clear, of Drg and Dryshya, of Sakshi and Jiva, need to be very clear of that. It's all about being clear about these two things. In case if you deliberate, meditate on this thing very thoroughly and own up this knowledge that I am the Sakshi and this is a play in the mind. He says, I'll tell you a secret. This Avarana Shakti, she packs her bag and baggage and disappears. Apayati tat. She runs away, she goes away. She is no more there. Bhede bhate. All what it requires that you have to have this viveka, the clarity. These two very different things, you'll be aware of this thing, that is all. The moment you are aware of this fact, the difference between the Sakshi and the Jiva, product of mind, see it for yourself. What difference this Vivek is going to make in your life. So this is how, you handle the Antar Avivek. Remember, this Avarana Shakti was working on two fronts. Inside, Drg-Dryshya were confused, and outside, Brahma and Sarga was confused. So inside you have an agenda now. In case if I can really go deep into this and just be clear of the Drg-Dryshya, the Sakshi and Jiva, is that I can assure you that Avarana Shakti won't be there in your mind at all. She disappears. This is the only thing she's afraid of. Just as when you put on light, the darkness goes, so also the moment you bring about Viveka, all confusion and delusion goes. Just as you work over here inside your mind, so also the second phase of your sadhana and wisdom is to open your eyes and see in the world. And have this Viveka at the macro level also, external level also. And there are two components, Brahma and Sarga. The fundamental material and its presentation in different forms. See the world of forms and see the world of basic material. And when you can always become conscious of these two diametrically opposite things, here also the Avarana Shakti shall run away. She is only afraid of Viveka. So this is because of Avarana Shakti alone that all confusion is happening. Atra bhi avritti nashena vibhati brahma sargayo veda. Thereafter you will be able to see Brahma everywhere in spite of the different forms. Just look at the consequence of this Viveka. Look at the blessing of this Viveka. Thereafter you can tell your Bhagwan that, oh Bhagwan, come in any form, I'm not going to miss you now. Earlier, this rascal, this Avarana Shakti, she had blinded me. And I was only bothered about different forms. I was hanging to different forms. Now I'm aware of the component, the truth of every form. And your vision will be an all-pervasive divinity blessing every form in the world. The form shall come and go, the truth will never go at all. So in this way, an agenda has been set for our subsequent sadhana. Now we know what is going to happen. Now you already must be having an inkling about the next section. That you'll have to handle this Avarana Shakti at two fronts, inside and outside. So there will be two stages of sadhana now. One stage of sadhana will be to handle the Drg-Dryshya Viveka and see the difference of these two things very, very clearly. So I can assure you this. You only work on this and see the consequence. So also outside, when you open your eyes, so this meditation is not only with closed eyes. The two components of meditation are going to follow. One open-eyed meditation, one closed-eyed meditation. The first meditation, which will be dealing with the clarity of Drg-Dryshya, and the other meditation will be dealing with bringing about the clarity of Brahma and Sarga. So we will enter that beautiful section tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.